Hello, my name is Castaneira. I'll remember it so you don't have to. I'm in sophomore in Da Vinci Design High School, and I will be presenting for English 10 and Modern History POL. First, I would like to start with English. For this of English 10, I'll be presenting my character analysis. And for this character analysis, the character I've chosen is Guy Montag from the book Fahrenheit 451. So, my opinion for this character, that Guy Montag is considered heroic since he is a fighter, and reckless for his lack of thinking straight, and disturbing for his unnatural habit. Heroic, since Guy Montag is a fighter, it's his job to put out fires and get citizens to safety. That's what makes a person a hero. So, he's heroic. If you don't believe me, my evidence says otherwise. On page 6, here's one quote that I found. They glanced back at Montag, who stood near the woman. "You're not leaving her here?" he protests. "She won't come." "Then force her then." Then a few sentences later, Montag placed his hand on the woman's elbow. "You can come with me." That proves that he's a hero. As a hero, you don't leave anyone behind. You get them to safety no matter what. Next, we have reckless. Certain people come up with a plan before starting, while others, Guy Montag, just go for it. See how far he or she can get. As my evidence, on page 14, Montag moved out through the French windows and crossed the lawn without even thinking. That's how reckless works. You just don't think. You just go for it. Forget the results. You improvise. Next, disturbing. This one's a tricky one. As a fighter putting out fires, he sadly likes the way fire burns, mostly on books. See why I think this is disturbing right now? And here's my evidence. On page 6, he quotes, It's a fine work. Monday, Millet, Wednesday, White Man, Friday, Faulkner, burn them to ashes, then burn the ashes." Very unnatural, because do you ever see a fighter who has the urge to burn stuff? No, that's not normal. Unless you live somewhere crazy. Well, that's all for English for now. Next is history. For history, I will be presenting my essential skills. And for this essential skill, I have chosen essential skill number 2, revolutions. As for revolution was the time when people start making a change in society and overthrow the most superior. And here we have some evidence. During the French Revolution begins, the 30 states stepped up and made a difference and called themselves the National Assembly. Where I found it? Event 2, National Assembly. Why I chose this? Because the 30 states felt less, respected, since they're considered the peasants of the group, while the first and second East state are the most wealthy. They're the richest. That kind of is harsh. Next, another of my evidence. During the French Revolution begins, again, the 30 states took their anger out on the nobles who were beaten and killed and eventually imprisoned the king and queen. Found in event number 5, the Great Fear. Show this. The 30 state overthrew the most superior King Louis XVI because of his weak leadership, economic crisis, and social inequalities. For weak leadership, King Louis was terrible at leading. He wasn't actually focused. He didn't care. For economic, he did heavy taxes. He took every last drop of money from them. Social inequalities, once again, the 30 state wasn't respected, since they're the peasants. Now, I have more Castaneira. I'll remember, so you don't have to. Thank you for listening. Before I go, is there any questions that you'd like me to answer?
I don't have any questions. Do you have any DBQ stuff up there?
Wait, this fucker?
Not good.
Okay then, let's go to the grammar test and DBQ.
Yep.
Let's see which I start first. Here we have my DBQs. There we go. So here we have my annotations. Certain quotes underlined, margins been taken notes, and here my thesis, my evidence, and my explanation. But here is the downside. During some other presentations, I will not explain who, I already figured out that I made a mistake. For starters, in my explanation, turns out I got the wrong beliefs. Because he does not believe that people are naturally good or that people are the government themselves and have their own rights. It turns out that John Locke thinks all people are selfish and they violate rights. But they do have the right to overthrow the government. So that's one thing.
Can you give me your thesis?
Thesis, yes. Equality was rising in the American society. Why did I choose this? Because somewhere in a quote, well, let me get to my evidence first. Because according to John Locke, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to create a new government. So in other words, they're about to be equals, get their own rights.
Okay, let's look at that thesis. So in a thesis, there's two things you have to do. What are those two things?
There's the hook. Wait.
You have to do the question. The first thing we're going to do is restate the question. Because that gives us direction when we answer it. Okay, so what is the question asking us?
How did the ideas of John Locke's social contract influence the writing of the Declaration of Independence?
Okay, so how can we restate that for our thesis? Okay, we'll start it off with the ideas of John Locke's social contract influenced the writing of the Declaration of Independence by how did the ideas of John Locke's social contract?
Read the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just restated that.
Oh, so you
Go ahead.
remodeled the question, like restate it in a different way?
I took the same, the only thing I didn't include was the how did.
Oh, so get rid of the how did and basically don't make the question less of a question.
Don't make the question?
No, like turn the question less of a question. So
Yes.
make
So
it more.
Exactly. So you're not asking the question, but you're answering it.
So answering it.
Yes. So you'll take exactly that language. So the idea, see where I'm going? The idea of John Locke's social contract influenced the writing of the Declaration of Independence by
American Society?
Okay, so it's like asking how did, so where are his ideas within the Declaration of Independence? And the thesis, your first sentence you wrote there, what was your first word?
Equality.
Equality. Okay?
Okay.
So you could say the ideas of John Locke's social contract influenced the writing of the Declaration of Independence by including ideas of
Equality.
exactly. Okay? Because in your thesis statement, number one, you restated it and then you answered it. And then that's when you go back and you find your evidence to support your thesis. So you'll show a quote where it talks about equality. Is that what you have right there?
Yeah, that's equality.
Okay, there we go. And then in your analysis, that's when you connect the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
So next semester, we'll work on that, getting that
Okay.
thesis down.
Yeah,
Right?
that's my kryptonite right there.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Grammar tree.
Well, that's history. And now we are back to English. All right. Oh, yeah, we're good.
Okay, why do you put the comma between slippers and from?
Slippers in front.
Or why do you put the comma there? That's a comma, right?
Because I'm extending the sentence.
Okay. Good. And, so let's take a look at the first part of that sentence. And the puppy pulled all the slippers, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay. So you have all the parts of speech right, but the phrases are a little jumbled.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. The puppy pulled all the slippers. You have the puppy. The puppy is what part? You have noun, right?
Yes.
So, if it's the puppy, what kind of phrase is that?
A noun phrase.
It's a noun phrase. Good. So make that a noun phrase. And then we have pulled all the slippers. What's leading, so you have all of those right, and what's the most important part of speech there?
A verb.
The verb.
Phrase.
So let's make all of that verb phrase. Perfect. So now we have a noun and a noun phrase and a verb phrase together, and that makes what type of clause?
Independent.
Independent clause. There you go. That will do it. Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Oops.